recording locally. Sweet. Already off to a good start. Hello everyone, this is Spasmodic, and today I'm going to be doing some audio commentary for my video entitled Just Jump. The commentary for my video Feel went over pretty well, so I decided to do some for my recent video Just Jump. I have some new headphones and a new microphone along with them, so I hope the quality isn't abysmal. As I did for Feel, for Just Jump, I'll be explaining how the jumps work, how the ideas popped into my head, why a jump made it into the video, along with anything else I may find interesting. My commentaries have a tendency to be long-winded, and my mind tends to drift off to creative places, so apologies in advance. This video is a bit longer than Feel, so brace yourself. I also just woke up and decided that speaking was a good idea, so if I sound like a blender full of rocks, my bad. One thing I did forget to mention in Feel, just start off with this, was how I achieve this look in Halo 1, the one screen thingy. So first of all, my capture card is the Elgato Game Capture HD. I used to use the Hapag, whatever, HD PVR, but I switched to the Elgato when I bought my Xbox One. Bit of a mistake, that one, but the Elgato doesn't take up nearly as much space as the PVR, and the quality is nicer, so whatever. Since I'm playing on the Xbox 360, I can capture in HD, but that also means the only way I can play on the multiplayer maps is if I go split screen. So once the footage is captured, I just put it into Sony Vegas, and I use the Event Pan and Crop tool to isolate either screen as I see fit. In this case, I'm isolating the first player screen. I generally position second player for a third person angle if I need it. I remember someone asked me how I modded my field of view here, but there are no mods used in any of my videos. It's just simple Sony Vegas stuff to make the videos look cleaner. Now, for those of you, we're not going to talk about jumps for a little while here. I got a whole intro planned. Haha. Now, for those of you who remember back 5 years, you may realize that this video isn't new age original content. I'll be pausing briefly to drink water, by the way. On my old channel, Snipe Da Whoop, under my old name Slinky, I released a video called Just Jump on High Impact Halo. The website was still open then. When jumping first became a thing, people were largely focused on Halo 2 and later on Halo 3. Halo 1 was never really a serious part of the conversation. A few people made Halo 1 jumping videos. A little girl made one. That was the guy's name. It wasn't just some random little child. Spinker Matt, DJ Dap made one, and Skirty. Tabuto and Mr. Ollie made one. Later on, a few more people landed jumps and made videos like Ocean Extremist, I think was his name. Gary UK landed some jumps. Rezix and Mador, of course. So with the help of Mr. Ollie and Skirty, the three of us released a video called Eccentric Jumping, and then my two solo videos, which Skirty captured, Mr. Ollie edited, Malou mixed the soundtrack, and Raiden, I think it's Raiden, right? Who cares? Raiden hosted them. They were called Speed Stack, Walk Gap 1 and 2. You can find them all on YouTube, except Eccentric Jumping, which I'd like to watch again. I don't think anyone has a copy of it, though, sadly. So Halo 1 jumping just didn't really catch fire, so one day I decided to sit down and land some jumps. Hence the title, Just Jump. At this point in time, people weren't really doing much of anything with Halo, never mind landing jumps, or at the very least, releasing very many videos at all. So the inspiration behind Just Jump was to both show off what could be done with Halo 1 and to spur people on to land jumps. If I was very lucky, people would start to explore Halo 1. That didn't happen until after I released Just Jump 2, but people definitely noticed the first Just Jump. So, in all of my videos, there is, of course, an objective at the end. I guess the same could be said of any video, but I generally like my videos to have a central concept, a general theme. There's always a few surprises when working on a video, but I like to know what I'm getting into. The concept behind the jumps for Just Jump were to show off what could be done with Halo 1 physics and to land jumps that were harder than they looked. One thing I really wanted to do was to explore something new in Halo 1 that people hadn't seen before. People hadn't seen very much from Halo 1 at all, which is a bit harsh. It's kind of a misguided thing to say considering all of those great videos. I just mean people didn't really consider Halo 1 to be on par with Halo 2 or Halo 3 in terms of techniques. People regard Halo 1 as very slow, floaty, and clunky, and to an extent they're correct, but there's so much about Halo 1 that to this day people haven't explored, so I wanted to take a step in that direction and maybe give something back to the game that I love so much. So the first Just Jump was filmed on my original Xbox with my old DVD recorder. I almost want to say I filmed it on VHS tapes, but I'm pretty sure it was my DVD recorder. The quality was adequate for the time, but just the other day I was thinking about Just Jump 2 and how unhappy I was with the video quality. I had a powerful desire to redo it in high definition, but to film Just Jump 2 meant it was only fitting to reland every jump in the first video in HD as well. Excuse me. So I set out to do that one day. Relanding each jump sounds both impressive and time consuming, but filming these jumps took me a little over an hour, I think. My knowledge of the game has increased since the first Just Jump, and my jumping skills have improved. Plus, I already had the framework from the original video, so it was easy to land each jump as I knew exactly what to expect from each one, and I knew the outcome. This also gave me a nice opportunity to retool a lot of the jumps and land them differently, and in some cases more efficiently. So we finally come to the intro for the video. This song is called Purple City by Chief. I stumbled upon Chief through a rock climbing video, and he makes some really slick music, so I bought just about everything he's ever made. It's really great stuff from him. It's my kind of music. The original Just Jump had an intro built into the only song I used. I tend to do this for all of my videos because I like it and I think it's cool. Edit parts of the jumps to some music and tease the content people are about to watch. This track fit an intro perfectly. The second track didn't really have an intro aspect to it, but it was the track I wanted for the main video. Since the first video had an intro, I wanted this video to have an intro. Since most jumps have a tendency to age somewhat poorly, I decided against a fast-paced song for this video. A lot of jumping videos, you'll see them edited to liquid drum and bass and stuff like that. Originally, I edited the song. What? Originally, I edited the video to Monkey Wrench by Foo Fighters. When I say originally, I mean the video I made 5 years ago was edited to the Foo Fighters. This time around, I edited it to a nice chill-out, trip-hop, rap instrumental thing. I think editing this video to chill music rather than fast-paced music fit the content better and presented it more gently. These types of songs can be tricky to work with as some of them aren't varied well, like some tracks from Grammatic just kind of repeat the same thing over and over again, but this track worked very nicely. So the first jump in the video was actually the one I had the most problems with. You can tell because the pipe is so black from all the explosives. I actually didn't think I landed it when I did. I landed the jumps in the same order they were presented in the original video. It kept things organized for me. So this jump is simple in theory, but executing it can be kind of annoying. So you have to frag rocket over this wall, which is very easy, but landing in this little pocket can be tough. If you move to, if you stack over the wall to the right, that is towards the pocket, so you're more on top of it, you're coming down on it, you'll have a hard time sticking the landing. So what you have to do is stack to the left, like I did here, then you have to look towards the pocket and move your character towards it while you're in the air. You don't have very much control in the air in Halo 1, and it's easy to bonk your head on the top of the pocket there. So it's a really gentle jump to be sure. This next jump on boarding action requires the same kind of mid-air directional influence. You can't just fall straight down in a straight line towards the bottom level. You have to jump outwards and then move back towards the platform. These jumps were pretty popular in Halo 2, so I landed one just like it in Halo 1, from one of the highest points on boarding action to the bottom level. There are higher levels on boarding action, yes, but on the Xbox, you have to factor in fall timer for jumps like this. On Halo PC, you can fall forever with a quote-unquote cheat code, but here the fall timer can be really unforgiving. Next, we have this stack on Blood Gulch, which on reflection, it can actually be landed with just 3 plasma grenades and a rocket. But in the original video, I landed it with 3 plasmas and a frag and a rocket, so I stuck with that formula here. It's important to remember that plasma grenades bounce when they're thrown high and land back on the ground. It's not as obvious as, frag grenades will bounce much more visibly when you throw them at the ground, but plasmas do in fact bounce, so I have to compensate for that bounce. I talked about this in my commentary for feel as well. It's just going to be illustrated much better here. So I throw my first plasma grenade high, my second one a little lower, and then my third a split second before the first 2 grenades hit the ground. This ensures that they will all explode at the same time. If my positioning or timing is off, the grenades can fly off in different directions and I can lose all of my power. So I add a frag in after the 3 plasmas hit the ground, and if you give this a go yourself, you have to jump immediately after throwing that frag. It's a very tight time window, but it is possible to hit, and the result is dramatic if you don't blow yourself up, which you can if you time it improperly. Next is a jump on Hang 'em High, and Hang 'em High is a weird, wonderful map. If you stand on the main floor, which is where I'm standing right now, and throw a plasma grenade way up on the ceiling, I wonder if I can actually spot the ceiling at any point. Yay, ceiling! So if you're standing on the main floor and throw it at the ceiling, the plasma grenade will explode a short distance off of the ceiling. This also happens on some walls if you throw the grenade high enough. It's bizarre. I seem to recall that happening in this jump back in the day. Like I'd throw a grenade way up here and it would just explode before it hit the ground. But I didn't run into that problem when I tried to land the jump again. Maybe I was just going crazy back then, but hey, who doesn't like a fun fact? Throw a grenade at the ceiling, it'll explode. At the very least, it's something to consider if you want to land jumps on Hang 'em. So anyhow, for this jump, I can't throw the grenade too high anyway, or else it will completely miss this weird pillar thing. If I throw it too low, the grenade will not only explode before I can get up there, but in Halo 1, you can't fire rockets as rapidly as you can in Halo 2 or Halo 3. There's a bit of a cooldown period between your first and second rocket. Excuse me. So the grenade has to be high enough to delay its explosion long enough so I can actually fire a second rocket to reach the top platform. This is a really neat jump to show how important grenade mechanics are. So in the original Just Jump, I threw the plasma grenade first, like up here, and then I threw the frag at this wall. For this jump, I used... Let's see if I can illustrate this better. For this jump, I used this slope underneath this walkway to bounce a frag in the direction of the pillar, so I'd be close enough to the pillar and have enough power to stack on top of it. I throw the plasma grenade quickly afterwards. I jump up, and there's more than enough time to let my second rocket kind of get into the chamber there. Then I just jump right up to the top platform. This jump on Wizard, I wish I had landed it differently. In the original video, I was showing off how grenade pins are pulled if you throw them in a certain way in corners. And oftentimes the grenades, they can explode faster as a result. I show this concept off much more efficiently later on in the video. Here, the main thing to look for is the first frag grenade that I throw. The geometry of this area is very interesting. If you throw a frag at this point in the window, it will bounce off the lower section. It's hard to see, but it's right here. It'll bounce off this lower section. It'll bounce off this slope and finally it will land on the floor. I didn't succeed at the fast grenade explosion with the second frag that I throw. You'll see it doesn't really, it explodes pretty much when it hits the ground, when usually if you throw it if you throw it properly, it'll explode like right here. So the jump is a bit awkward on reflection, but well, at least the first frag grenade is cool. If I landed the jump again, I would just follow the path of the first grenade takes with first player, and just do kind of a show-off grenade jump up to the window without the second grenade. I'm not too broken up about how the jump turned out, though, considering it pretty much looks exactly like it did in the original, and that makes me happy. So this jump on Chill Out made it into the video originally for two reasons. One, I don't know how many people knew about this spot that I'm standing in right now, and furthermore, it's right underneath a platform. So to stack from here up to the platform is not as simple as just jumping straight up. I throw a frag grenade. Come on, gotta get to this point in the video again. So I'm going to throw a frag grenade, and I try not to jump too far out. The grenade pushes me upwards, and then it's just a simple rocket off the wall to get up top. Next up is the double rocket on Sidewinder, one of my favorite jumps ever. It's simple enough. You just aim for the wall in the distance, you fire the rocket, head into the teleporter, and book it over to this wall, and you get hit with the first rocket as you rocket jump. It takes the first rocket 8 seconds to reach the wall, in case you wanted to give this a go yourself. So this 3-nade stack on Hang'em was actually a bit of a pain to land. I think I went into it assuming it would be easy, so positioning the grenades and getting the timing down was more irritating than it should have been. Otherwise, this jump is quite simple. So once this first grenade hits the ceiling, I throw the second one, and when the first grenade hits the ground, I throw the final grenade. They are all timed perfectly, giving me enough time after each jump to stand up, adjust a little, and get the most out of each grenade jump. The longer you wait for a grenade to go off in Halo 1 before you jump, the higher you will jump when it explodes. Next is this stack on Battle Creek from the window over to the teleporter. Originally, I landed it with 2 plasma grenades, but I found this time around that was overpowered as hell. Keeping in mind what I just said, how you get more out of your grenades the longer you wait, I figured with a little fine-tuning of this jump and waiting as long as possible for the plasma grenade to go off, I had more than enough power to reach the teleporter. Next is a really simple slide jump on Damnation. You can't slide jump in Halo 1 the same way you can in Halo 2 and Halo 3. That is, you can't jump and then slide. At least your slide won't be as pronounced as it would be in Halo 2, or especially Halo 3 at times. To slide jump effectively in Halo 1, you have to fall on the surface you want to slide jump off of and jump right as you land. I went into this a fair bit in the commentary for feel. In this case, I got on top of the map and jumped off of this ramp, giving me enough speed to jump up to the platform. Slide jumps hadn't really been explored too much, if at all, in Halo 1, so this jump was designed to catch people's attention. It's very simple nowadays, but back then it was a nice surprise. Slide jumps in Halo 1 are very neat because you have to factor in fall timer and fall damage into almost every one you do. There's really a lot to think about. The higher you fall from, the further you will slide jump, so long as you don't take severe damage from the fall. If you take damage from the fall, in most cases, that will kill your momentum. If you fall from too high, the fall timer will kill you. If you fall from a high spot and simply jump when you hit the ground, usually you'll be okay, you just won't go extremely far. If you do the crouch flick technique jump thing I haphazardly described in the field commentary, you risk taking more damage from the fall, but in some cases it can send you much further. Then there's all kinds of things to consider with edge slides. In this particular case, all I had to do was jump when I hit the ground. But yeah, Halo 1 jumping is so interesting. You play the game for over 10 years and you notice all the little quirks in the physics. It's a lot of fun. Moving on, we have this jump on Chill Out. This jump looks quite a bit different in the original video. In the original video, I did a frag rocket jump from about where I'm standing here. And I hit the bridge in a certain way to gain some height. So let's say I'm standing right here, the mouse cursor. I would jump, and I'd hit this edge of the bridge, and it would kind of send me upwards. And I threw a plasma grenade there, and that's when it would hit me, and I would land way over on the teleporter. So when I say I gained height by hitting the bridge in a certain way, if you recall my commentary for Feel, I explained how every edge in Halo 1 is actually sloped. For instance, on this bridge, if you were to crouch and slowly walk off of it, you'll notice that you dip down first before you fall, and you can use this lip for edge slides. Conversely, if you hit the slope with enough speed from the opposite side, you can achieve height. So if you're jumping in Halo 1 and your feet happen to clip the top of a little edge, you can jump just a little bit higher. You know what? Excuse me. You know what? I'm gonna open up Project Jump Episode 2 just to show you what I mean. I really hope this doesn't disrupt the video too much. Hold on, where are you? Okay, let's see if I can find it. La la la. Not there yet. Where is it? Here we go. This is the perfect. I love using this as an exemplar. So you'll see this box here. I can't just jump right on top of it like from the floor and just land up top. I have to clip this edge here with my feet, and then I get enough height to reach the top. It's a subtle little detail. It's neat. Hold on. Let me just load up Just Jump again here. Beautiful. Anyhow, so moving along. For this jump, since the video was going to be shiny and new, I decided to spruce it up a little. So I have to rewind just a touch. Get to watch this beautiful slide jump again. So I throw this first plasma grenade so it lands on the bridge. From there, I delay my first frag grenade just a little bit, throw it, and then I shoot my rocket at the wall so I get as much momentum as possible as opposed to getting too much height. So I get hit with the plasma and then quickly rocket the wall. I stay backwards the whole time to make Mr. Ollie proud, and I land on the teleporter. He liked when you landed jumps backwards. I tried landing on the teleporter a few times without the second rocket, but I couldn't manage it. Had I tried for longer, I maybe could have pulled it off. It seemed possible, but I stuck with this instead because I thought it looked cool. Double rockets were pretty common in Halo 2 and Halo 3, not so much in Halo 1 thanks to the delay in between rockets. And because nobody really jumped in this game, so I always look for an excuse to double rocket whenever possible. Now, I love this jump on longest. Trying to curve from this point here to this point over here, it can't be done. It's a vicious curve. But there just so happens to be a ledge right here that one can place a plasma grenade on, and there's a wall to rocket off of. When you jump, you are in the air long enough to clear the wall. It's over here. To clear the wall that's in the way of completing the curve. And the plasma rocket combo are just enough to push you back onto the ledge. So this jump on Battle Creek is the type of jump where if you're new to Halo 1, it can leave you scratching your head just a little. It was my gold challenge for jumpers.org, as at the time it was the hardest long jump I knew. Much like most things in Halo 1, they don't work like they do in Halo 2 or Halo 3. In this case, it's Halo 2, most notably. In Halo 2, you can late jump off of platforms. You can do it in Halo 3. It's just it works a little bit differently to the best of my knowledge. I'm more familiar with Halo 2 jumping than I am with Halo 3. So you can late jump off of platforms and do a save jump when you land. So late jumping means let's say we're jumping off of this edge here. You run off and you can jump from like about here in mid-air. And let's say you were So let's say it was Halo 2, you would late jump off of this platform here, you would crouch when you land, and you can actually just jump when you hit the ledge, edge, whatever, and you can land on the platform with that. This technique of late jumping and save jumping has led to some ridiculous long jumps in the past, like the Ryan L jump on Lockout. I don't know if I have butchered absolutely everything in that description of long and save jumping, so just whatever. Just we'll just edit that out if it's bad. So in Halo 1, you kind of have to work with what you have. There's no real late jumping, there's no real save jumps, except for one that I can think of. Anyway, in this case, you have to remember that if you look straight ahead and jump off of this thing, there's still room to jump even after you can't see the platform anymore. It's all about timing and a little to do with feel. If you jump perfectly and time your crouch nicely when you hit the edge, you get this jump. Next up is this simple jump on Cheer On. In this case, I'm taking advantage of two physics quirks in Halo 1. The aforementioned abuse of sloped edges for height, and the fact that if you jump, hold crouch, and release when you hit the ground, you'll bounce. So when I jump up to the light, I hold and release crouch as I hit it, which gives me enough height to reach the top. There are very few jumps I would describe as cute in Halo 1, but this one fits the bill perfectly. Now we have this overpowered, weird-looking, confusing jump on Chill Out. On reflection, I should have landed it with 2 grenades, but I like the idea of using the rocket in this jump, like I did in the original video. So I throw the plasma grenade into the corner, and if you do this properly, as you'll recall from the previous jump on Wizard, the plasma will bounce off of this first wall here. It'll touch the second, and the grenade pin will be pulled. Normally, if you throw a plasma at a wall, you have to wait for it to then touch the ground, wait a few seconds, then it explodes. In this case, the grenade pin is pulled above. You can actually see it. Like the grenade starts to fall, but it's actually been the pin has actually been pulled up above. So this will explode as soon as it touches the ground. It's a very interesting quirk to the game, and it's very underutilized even today. So when I rocket jump, there's this weird tunneling warp glitch effect thing on screen that I didn't actually edit in. This was present in the capture, and I don't know how it got there. I didn't actually realize it was there until after I rendered the video, and at that point I was too lazy to go back and reland the jump. So next is this jump on Hang 'em that looks very different in the original video. Originally, I threw a plasma grenade at the ceiling so it would land on the ramp. This time around, I decided to bounce a frag grenade off the ground, put a frag grenade at my feet, and the second frag grenade pushes me towards the first one, and then I just do a rocket jump, and the nade hits me, and I land in the center. This technique of using 2 frag grenades, it achieves the same effect of stacking from here, jumping off the ramp, landing on the middle platform, except this way looks a bit cleaner and it was much easier to land. This jump on Prisoner is another jump that looks different in the original video. The first time around, I threw a plasma grenade at the ceiling, I rocket jumped up to the middle platform where I'm currently standing, I threw a frag grenade in a certain spot off a wall, then I did a plasma rocket jump off of the middle platform, hit the frag grenade perfectly. It was really sexy, but quite complicated. I felt like simplifying the jump this time around, so I found this nice way of banking a frag grenade to land on the upper platform up here. So I throw the first frag grenade so it bounces off the light, which is the edge is sloped slightly. It'll bounce off this wall and it will land perfectly on this platform. From there, it's a simple matter of timing this second frag and not rocket jumping into the platform right above my head. It's not as tight a squeeze as you might think. Oh, this jump on Battle Creek. I love jumps on Battle Creek so much. I don't know why. Chill Out seems to be my playground, but I love landing jumps on Battle Creek. So this This one in particular is really nice because it showcases the height you gain from waiting on grenades to explode, riding a slope, and bouncing. So when I grenade jump, I don't just jump straight up in the air. I have to jump at the slope. I jump right at this slope here. This is a bit awkward because this area here is so compact, but if you do it right, you'll hit the slope instead of just hitting your head on the wall. So I crouch when I hit it, and then release it towards the top for a bounce. It's very subtle right there. You'll see it right there, that bounce. Then I crouch as I land up top, which gives me enough height. It's a lot to think about for such a simple looking jump. So this is another jump that looks a bit different than the original, to say that for the 8,000th time. Originally, 8001, I threw a plasma grenade over this big wall here. So it would land on this platform up here. So this time around, I threw a frag grenade at this wall here, so it would bounce right by my feet. I had to quickly spin and throw a plasma grenade at this wall here, this very specific spot right here, so it would land up here. The idea in the original Just Jump was to jump from the door frame, which I'm standing on right now, and up to the top of the map. The door frame was the key ingredient since it's such a small space, and because you can't late jump in Halo 1, getting anything out of a spot this small is tough. It wasn't too bad to work with now that I'm more familiar with the physics and such. You just kind of hold crouch the whole time and jump. This jump is very elegant. You get the perfect amount of height to reach the top of the map. Not the top of the map, but the semi-top of the map. Next up is a jump on Damnation that looks very simple, and honestly it really is. Back in the day, I had troubles with it, but this time around I landed it first try. Originally I was showing off how step stacks work, and how grenades affect you in certain ways depending on where they're thrown. In this case, well, first I'll explain what a step stack is as best I can. Let's say there's actually a floor down here where my mouse cursor is. Why'd my mouse pad be there? That doesn't make any sense. English. I'm standing on the floor, and let's say I threw one grenade on this wall, so it'd land on the ground, but I put another grenade up here. So I do a rocket grenade jump from the floor. I'd go up, and then this grenade up here would hit me, and I'd land on the pipe. That would be a step stack. Just grenades positioned on higher elevation, so as you jump, each of them hits you. Instead of just having all the grenades in one big pile, they're sort of spread out to achieve different effects. So in this case, I get a lot of height from the frag and rocket, but it's not enough to reach the top of the sniper walkway where I land. I need the plasma grenade to give me that extra push. But because of where it's positioned, which is right here, instead of getting more height from it, since I'm not directly above the grenade, it's covered by this walkway, I get more sideways momentum from it. But if you hit a wall in Halo 1, that doesn't always mean you're going to stop dead when you hit it. If there's a little upwards momentum previously, you can still ride up the wall a little. It was a neat concept to explore back in the day. Nowadays, this jump is painfully easy, but I still like it. And it was in the original, so I'm not going to cut it. Next is this jump on Hang 'em that I love. I love jumps that involve stylish grenades and using the geometry. Not simply using the geometry as an integral part of the jump, like using a slope to reach a higher ledge like on Battle Creek. For example, in this jump, I love the first grenade. Like, it'll bounce off the wall. It'll bounce off of this sunroof thing. It bounces again, and finally falls to the ground. Creative little things like this I love even to this day. So the second grenade that I throw, it lands up above, so when I frag rocket, it's waiting for me to give me a little extra height to reach the top. And of course, I land the jump backwards for a little style. You're welcome, Ollie. And that jump is also a really good example of a step stack. Now this jump on Chill Out. I probably could have found a way to simplify it, but I love the original execution so much, I had to re-land it exactly as I did before. I think this was the first jump landed in Halo 1 that showed off grenade launching. I had to launch the second grenade, that one right there, so I would have enough time to stack 2 plasma grenades below. When I say that, I mean, I don't show this off in the video, but first person here, he turns around and he'll put a plasma grenade like up here and then another as it hits the ground. So had I just thrown the plasma grenade at the roof here and tried to stack 2 plasma grenades over here, the timing of the jump wouldn't have worked. Plus, this method gives it some serious style points. So the reason why this works is because, like I said, plasma grenades bounce. I time the second grenade, which is right here, I time it perfectly so that when it hits the ground, when it's bouncing, the first grenade goes off. Because the second grenade is still technically in mid-air because of that bounce, its pin hasn't been pulled, so it won't explode. You can time grenades in Halo 1 to explode in mid-air, but doing it this way means the grenade won't explode until it really touches the ground, so it goes back up to the ceiling and back down. I show what happens to the grenade with this kind of makeshift third-person angle, courtesy of my second controller. So I stack the 2 plasma grenades down here, which gives me enough height and momentum to clear this bar. And if all goes well, which it did, the plasma grenade is waiting for me for a really clean rocket jump. It's a really sexy jump that takes advantage of some enclosed spaces, and landing on top of this tower is always fun. Now we have another grenade launch, this time on Wizard. So I throw my plasma grenade, and I wait to throw my frag. When I do, I have to turn around immediately and throw this plasma grenade so it lands on this ledge right here. If you do it right, the frag grenade will be launched at this wall by my first plasma grenade exploding. And it lands pretty close to where you are. I didn't position my first plasma grenade as perfectly, so the grenade landed more over here instead of over here. But I could still do something with it. So I had to throw that third grenade, the second plasma grenade, immediately so that when I frag rocket, it will detonate while I'm in the air, giving me just enough height to land all the way at the top. I feel like I've said that a lot this commentary. Whatever, it's too late to go back now. And at long last, we're here at the finale. Well, one of the enders for this video. I love jumps that involve teleporters. I'm a sucker for them. This jump is this is great shit. I'm a fan of myself for landing it. So in case it wasn't obvious, the teleporter that I walk into leads to this teleporter, and vice versa. So I had to land the jump on the red side because there's nothing exciting to land on the blue side. You can tell which side of boarding action you're on by the color of the numbers. Duh. Jesus, guys, pay attention. Come on, this game's like 50 years old. Or I'm 50 years old. I don't really know. Some guy said I was old once online. I cried. Anyway, you have to throw the plasma grenade, wait, and then fire the rocket so it will hit the wall at the same time the grenade explodes. At this point, enough time has elapsed so you can use a second rocket on the wall and reach this top platform. It's a super sexy jump that requires a bit of timing. And then roll credits. Oh, wait. This jump is here to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative. You know, because it's an after credits thing. You got it. Explaining the bad joke made it worse somehow. Yeah, it had to be a joke in the first place to qualify. Whatever. Let's stay on topic. So like I said before, slide jumping wasn't brought into the picture before this video, and if it was before this video, it didn't grab enough attention. For whatever reason, I remember Gary UK released Rush around this time, and he had some jumps where he threw a plasma grenade at an edge, and it bounced off and landed below. It was a nifty way to set up 2 plasma grenades instead of having to throw one straight up in the air and then throwing a second grenade when it landed. On Hang 'em, like I said before, that's not really an option in most places. Like I said before, the grenade will explode if it touches the ceiling in most cases. It especially won't work here because there's a huge open ceiling. If you throw grenades at the ceiling, they disappear. It's the same with if you're outside of a map, like Sidewinder, you throw grenades at the nothing, at the abyss, the grenades just disappear. Just so as you know. So I time 2 plasma grenades so they land together and do a really slick slide rocket plasma jump awesome stack shit thing to reach this little hut over here. Is it just me, or was this jump the sexiest thing you've ever seen? Like, the way I fire that rocket, I felt like a beast. This jump was after the credits in the original video, so I put it after the credits here, of course. Like I said, people weren't expecting slide jumps from Halo 1, so when I put this stack at the end, it really caught people by surprise. Out of every jump in this video, this was the one that had the best chance of tying the worlds of Halo 1 and Halo 2 together, along with Halo 3. Everyone knew how these jumps worked and what they looked like. There's been hundreds of them in the newer games. Not in Halo 1, though. This was also the jump that was truly going to show signs of things to come. And that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed this commentary, do let me know. If you have any lingering questions, don't hesitate to ask. I'd be happy to answer as best I can. If you don't like anything in this video, well, nobody cares. Until next time, spaz out!